change you'll see. From comic books to toys and more, and all cartoons that we adore. Pop culture, flicks and geeky stuff, we love it all and can't get enough. So settle in and enjoy the show. Please hit like and subscribe before you go.
How's it hanging, YouTube? Oh, hang on. Can't be doing that. How's it hanging, YouTube? We are back. I'm back fresh from my holiday job. So I've been to where have I been? Benidorm for a few weeks, but I've missed you all terribly. So happy to be back. How are you chaps doing? James, how are you feeling, mate?
Graham, we got a nice break from you. I think it was much needed.
Happy to do it more often, mate. Yeah. Happy to do it more often. In fact, on that note, see ya. So how's it? I'm just joking, James.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back. It's good to have you back, man.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. Efren, how are you, bud?
Hey guys, Star Trek. End of show. Okay, it's the best sci-fi. So we get
100%. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that in a bit. But you're not wrong. You're not wrong, Efren. And we are joined by good old Phil from Phil's Nerdyverse. How are you, Phil?
I'm all good. Very jealous that you were away sunning yourself. Disappointed. I messaged you, Pete. I was disappointed in your Cornetto choice because you love a good ice cream, and I don't know why you went for Cornetto. What were you doing?
Phil, I feel, Phil, because we know each other so well, I can't lie to you. That was a staged photo. That wasn't my ice cream. That was my son's ice cream. So I hadn't selected the Cornetto. I'd gone. The selection was poor. I'd gone for a. Do you have a twister? Where it's like an ice lolly with
I love twisters. Yeah.
Didn't have one. So in a temper, I ordered some other thing, and it was vile. It was like a little bag of mini ice lollies. It was weird.
Like the little balls.
No, it was. I'm showing you my hands here.
Small mini lollies like that.
Yeah, like a cola bottle lolly on a stick, and then it was just. But I couldn't take a photo with that, so I faked it.
Such a fake influencer. You're staging photographs. See if you get a contract with Cornetto or anything like a sponsorship deal. Yeah. It's all fake.
Yeah. Mr. Whippy, that's what I want a contract with, Mr. Whippy. Let's see who we've got in with chat, guys. We have got Dr. Von Hoot. Nice to see you, Von Hoot. I hope you are well, bud. We've got James Mack. Nice to see you, James. Hope you're doing well. We've got Terry, Dead Man. Always good to see you, Terry. And we've got Sean, Paddles and a Half Pint. Nice to see you, bud. Some bloke called Passpoint Comics. Never heard of him. We've got SM. Nice to see you. Peter, a typical Brit going to, to be honest, I would go back. It wasn't bad, Benidorm. I'd heard the horror stories, but it weren't bad. We've got Fuzzy of the Dunlop. Here he is, the Tuesday Night Delight, freshly tanned and relaxed, the Yoko Ono of YouTube. Thank you, Fuzzy. Thank you. I hope you are well, bud. I hope you're well. We've got Wayne Deacon. Hello, you sexy bastards. He's obviously talking to three of us on the screen. Nice to see you. We've got Fuzzy Dunlop saying, turn up your mic, Phil. You sound underwater.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
A little bit higher, Phil. A little bit higher if you can.
Really high pitched.
Yeah, if you could do it in a high-pitched noise all the time, that would be great. We've got Bethany. Nice to see you, Bethany. Hope you're doing well. Panels and a Half Pint. Looking forward to the discussion / argument. Yeah, it's going to get heated. And we've got Anton. Nice to see you, Anton. Hope you're doing well as well. Okie dokie, chaps. So, whilst I've been sunning myself in Benidorm, I picked up this. I've not read one of these for years. I'll show some images later on. Any of you guys read SFX magazine?
That says sex.
That was the fun when I was a younger man. Getting it off the shelf. I'm getting a sex mag. No, it's SFX. But they always have someone's head just over the F part, so it feels a little bit dirty. This is a British sci-fi magazine. I think it goes over the States as well. It's been going for years and years and years. All your normal kind of geeky news and stuff. I've not read it for ages, but that would be why, Phil. That would be why. I think that bit's meant to be plugged in. I'm no expert. We'll go to a tech expert. Efren, what does he do with that lead? Is he meant to be?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, here in the United States, I believe you have to plug it in. Yeah.
Plug it in. Push it in.
Testing.
Oh,
yeah,
too loud.
Beautiful.
So I picked this up at the airport just for a bit of reading, and I had an article in which prompted us to think, oh, well, actually, that would be a nice, easy, short chat with some of my pals about when I get back. So that's what we're going to talk about. it is predominantly sci-fi based, so because of that, we're going to do a comic giveaway later on tonight, probably at the end of the show. So the hashtag for that is sci-space-fi. Stick that in the comments during the show and you'll be added. I've gone a bit mental with my giveaway box, so we're going from a short box to a long box now, and I've put a load of other stuff in that. So yeah, please do stick hashtag sci-fi, and we'll pick your 5 comics at the end of the night, and we'll ship them anywhere in the world. Anton is saying we still have that in the US. We still have the one called Starlog. Remember Starlog as well? That was very cool. Very cool. Efren's proud of the joke he's made. Absolutely. And Wayne's saying I just look at the pictures. You're not gonna lie, you're not wrong. So yeah, we're talking sci-fi, but before we get into it, guys, what I want to do is just very, very quickly mention 2 shows which are out at the moment, which aren't included in their collection of kind of the top 30. We're not going to give away spoilers because I'm not sure if people will have seen them all yet. We've got Comic Deal. Nice to see you, mate. Hope you're doing well. World famous tops artist. I'm going to start off with this one. Daredevil. Ooh, are you up to speed with Born Again, Daredevil?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting. Anton, you put sci-fly. Fuzzy, make sure there's a space between the sci and the fi, just in case it doesn't pick it up, mate.
Instructions.
Instructions. I've made it too complicated, haven't I? Yeah, so what did you think of Daredevil?
I enjoyed it. For what it's worth, I think it's very different than the Netflix version of it, even though it's the same people, the same kind of idea. It was definitely Disneyfied in the fact I think it played it safe sometimes, although there were a lot of F-bombs dropped quite a lot through the show. James, you said you haven't seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, because there was an episode where which I remember asked Pete, could you understand the accents, because it was a Northern Irish heist
Bank episode
in one of the New York banks. I thought this is really strange to have this like so much Northern Ireland accent in this show, but I enjoyed that. For me, it sets it up for the next season and what I fully expect to happen.
Yeah. No, I agree. Efren, have you watched it all yet?
Yeah, I watched it all, and I agree with Phil. Exactly. It sets it up for the next season. I think next season is just going to be all out, craziness. I heard there's going to be more guest stars. The Punisher's going to be showing up again, and I heard rumors that some of the Defenders may show up. But yeah, I don't know when it's going to happen the next season. But Daredevil's my favorite superhero. I always like the street level heroes. And of all movies and TV shows, this one seems more real to me than other things. It's just guys hitting each other, basically. I really enjoyed it.
So just before I share my comments, I know you can't put a space between a hashtag, but that's how I've set it up, because that's how I roll here in Newcastle. So it is hashtag sci-space-fi. Stick it in the comments, guys. I enjoyed it. I don't think it was amazing, but I don't think it was rubbish either. I think it had some very slow bits. Panels on a par, half pint of saying one word for it, slow. Yeah. MJ, mostly boring, but decent ending. Fuzzy thinks it was a bit overrated. The last episode, I don't want to spoil it for James. The Kingpin scene with the police gentleman, that blew my little ginger mind. I wasn't expecting some of the gore and the graphicness that happened there.
Is this with an axe? I've seen it.
No, nothing to do with an axe. Nothing to do with an axe. No,
it was brilliant though.
Yeah.
It's Michael Myers-esque, I'll put it that way.
I know. Yeah, I've seen a behind the scenes shot of the prosthetics used in it.
Yeah, I mean, well, if you've seen it or you've heard of it, James, I'm sure people in the chat, put your fingers in your ears if you haven't seen it yet. Kingpin literally kind of crushes the guy's head, and his jaw rips off and falls on the floor. And I mean, I'm used to seeing some pretty graphic movies and stuff. I mean, James do a horror channel. Quick plug, One Good Scare. But it was like, what the hell am I watching? My wife was surprised, shall we say. But yeah, really cool. Really cool. Fuzzy sent me a little clip, which I don't know if you've clocked or not, when he's on the kind of the embankment with Karen at the end, and they're about to potentially go into the dock scene, the Spider-Man theme plays. So I didn't pick that up on first viewing, but Fuzzy sent us a little clip of it. Really interesting, that.
What scene was this again? I got to recheck it.
The very end, I'll send you the link, Efren. The very end where they're in the kind of the dock scene and Daredevil wants to rush in, but Karen stops him.
The Tom Holland Spider-Man theme.
Yeah. I think
See,
it was.
this is rumored to happen.
That one.
I read an article after it, and who is potentially going to be in Daredevil's army, and they have Tom Holland Spider-Man listed as potential because of that input of the theme. But I mean, wishful thinking. I wish that happens. That'd be amazing.
It would.
They've got to have Moon Knight and all that kind of lot.
Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, they're certain, I think.
You have to. Hopefully, that'd be cool.
Yeah. Anton saying he really liked it. I like they made the point that there was a prob rather than the Protestant. Made me proud. Yeah, that was an interesting episode, but I thought that was very filler. That episode, it was weird.
Yeah, I think that was all part of the idea of getting Matt Murdock back to wearing the suit again, as like his little kind of mini journey to get back into it. And that formed part of it.
Yeah.
The anger came back out again, you know.
Yeah, that's very true. They made all of the episodes of season 1 and split it, so as long as the last 8 episodes are like that, the last one, it should be good. Yeah. Fuzzy says, I'm going to need an army, and then it goes into the theme.
Don't do this to me. If they're going to tease us and not give us it, I'd be human.
Could you imagine? Sean saying as long as Iron Fist isn't in it, or they recast him. I've not watched that series yet. It gets a lot of negativity, but...
it's crap. It's really bad.
Can I defend it for a second?
Yeah.
The first season is dreadful. The second season
is okay.
The second season picks up massively. That should have been the way around. It should be the first season should be good, but yeah.
I'll probably watch it. So I haven't watched Defenders yet either. Okay, another quick show I just want to mention. James, just calm, all right? Don't pop your cork straight away. But we've obviously had 3 episodes now of The Last of Us.
Go on.
I've caught up with it. What I'm not going to say what I think just yet. What are you, James? We'll start with you because you are a proper fanboy.
Obsessed with the video games, obviously. I feel like they have made some decisions here that some I really like tweaks from the story of the game. Particularly, I think they've rearranged quite a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of, I talked about this on show with Efren last week, but there's like scenes in like the first episode that are towards the end of the game and they're flashed back to, and I feel like when you take things out of order, it sort of fucks with like the structure of the story. So I'm a little bit skeptical how that's going to turn out by the end of it, but like, you know, a standalone, I think it's incredible. Like, and I think that, you know, there's a particular big moment that I thought they handled like quite well, and I felt the kind of the weight of it in the way that I did when I played the game. And they've added some really cool stuff. There's like a, you know, kind of a battle sequence in one of the episodes. Yeah. That was just awesome to see, I thought. I think everybody's on top form here, you know. So like I'm happy. I'm enjoying watching it anyway.
Good stuff. You guys seen it?
Not the last episode, but I know what happened, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It just took me by surprise. I didn't play the video game. I went, what the heck? You know, doing that to a main character, you know, I just wasn't expecting it. But, you know, thinking of The Walking Dead, they would kill off main characters left and right, you know, it was just part of the storyline. And, you know, fortunately, you know, this character, you know, passed away.
We are spoiler free here, Just keep that in mind. We were trying to be spoiler free.
So I really enjoyed it, but just caught me completely by surprise. You know, I went, whoa, you know, I was like, dang.
Yeah. Sadly for me, I'd been told by that many people, James, that, oh, there's a big event coming, and then I heard, oh, episode 2, big event, you got to watch it. And the way that episode is set up, I knew something big was happening. I hadn't worked out quite who yet. Do you know what I mean? But I knew something was coming because it had been that little. For me, sadly, and I'll come to you, sorry, in a second, Phil. For me, sadly, I don't know if it's because it's that long since between seasons, or because what was the first season, 8 episodes or something?
9.
9?
Yeah.
I hadn't built up, or that much of a relationship, so I didn't have as massive an emotional impact as I think it should have had. Had we watched probably season 1 and this had come out straight away afterwards, I probably would have felt it a bit more, I think.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I think for me, overall, series so far, really good. I'm not going to knock it. I thought episode 2 was great. Really enjoyed that. I don't know how it'll go on further because I'm not yet convinced I particularly like one of the characters anymore. I think they're getting on my tits, which is sad. Yeah. But I think the other thing I would say, and James, I'm not saying this just to upset you. Watching it, there is absolutely no denying for me. It feels very much like Walking Dead. A lot of the beats are very similar to Walking Dead. Had this come out before Walking Dead, I think I would probably have gushed a lot more. I'm not saying it's bad. I really am enjoying it.
No, I think once you have, because we are at this point 3 hours into the game of a 25-hour game. This story is going to be 2 seasons long. I think when you have the entire thing and you look back at it, I think those Walking Dead comparisons is going to kind of go away. Yeah. I think it's a bit more prestige than that, I feel.
Real quick, are these creatures dead or just transformed?
No. So like the way cordyceps work is it's sort of like you're not dead, but it's just overtaking you completely. So like I think they are alive technically.
In a word.
Yeah, you can shoot one in the chest and it'll die.
Yeah. I was going to ask you just before we go to Phil, the episode where they have the New Year's party thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a scene where they pan the camera around, and there's a little old man playing the guitar. Yep. I thought I recognised him. Was that the little old bloke?
That is Gustavo Santaolalla, who we went to see in London. That's him. Yeah, he was in the game as well. He's there as well, so that was a fun little cameo. Yeah.
Phil, what are your thoughts?
I agree with some of the Walking Dead comparisons. I think the feel of the game certainly is that. There's a comment there that says it barely focuses on the infected. Certainly season 2, it doesn't really focus that much on apart from the big battle scene, of course. It is very true to the game, even so much so that like some of the, what's the word for the position of him playing the guitar on the deck and area, like the kind of like the
camera shots are
exactly. Yeah. They're all very similar to the game. The second game also starts with that what happened in this. And obviously moves on from the end. That's not the last of this person. I'm trying to give spoilers away, but Efren's only pretty much give it away, hasn't he? It kind of reminds me a little bit of, I don't know if you ever watched Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So Sean Bean was the big star of this first season, and he didn't finish the first season, pretty much. Yeah. So it's like when you do that to the biggest main star, it makes you think, wow, they're obviously really confident in the story going forward. And I think they'll get it right. I think, like James is saying, once the whole thing's complete, you look back on it completely different from The Walking Dead, and probably, well, not probably, it'll be better and less boring, less filler episodes, than Walking Dead.
I'm just curious, as like a story beat, like, did you like that happened, like, or were you mad?
I was surprised that like typical TV didn't wait till the end of the season to do it.
No, I feel like because it is the driving thing of the whole story, so I knew it had to be early. I thought maybe episode 3.
I thought maybe a season split or something and then do it.
Yeah, I wasn't like I say, and this is not a dig at anyone. It's been well kind of publicized. If I hadn't had so much lead up to, there's something horrendous going to happen in season 2 and blah blah blah, it would have taken us completely by surprise in that episode, I think. But because I was expecting something, I was waiting for a big name to drop, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the death that you get in the episode is pretty brutal, mind. It gave me kind of feelings of Negan beating the hell out of Glenn in Walking Dead. Do you know what I mean? It was brutal.
Yeah.
But at this point, with Game of Thrones, Walking Dead, all those kind of things, I'm kind of not numb, but I'm kind of less impacted by big stars dropping and main characters dying because it's not unknown anymore. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like the Sean Bean character was a shock, and it's similar to Walking Dead. Like you lose the main guy. But now it does happen so often. Yeah. It's not that big of a shock. But what you said as well about not feeling emotional when this scene occurred, I watch it with my wife, and she's not a big gamer. In fact, she's not a gamer at all. But she loved the first season, and it was so long ago. Whenever we sat down to watch this, she was the same as you. She didn't feel that kind of emotional. Where I had tears dripping down my cheeks. You know, I was hitting tears away
It'll
just because
be
I knew them
interesting.
all. what it's
It'll
like,
be
you know.
interesting, won't it? Because James, I know you told us a while ago that there was a big kind of, in terms of the gaming community, people were upset by this.
Furious,
But
absolutely
if,
furious.
if you think in Walking Dead, the brutality of the Negan episode switched a lot of people off, and it pissed off non-Walking Dead fans. It'll be interesting to see if there's any backlash for this in the same kind of vein.
People seem, I think, because there is a lot of crossover between the gamers and the people watching the show, that it seems people have taken it a bit better this time around. There's not, I mean, there was so much vitriol towards the character that does the thing.
Yeah.
Where like an actor was getting death threats and people threatening to kill her family and stuff like that. People seem a bit more cool with the actor that's playing the character this time around, which I'm happy to see as well. But I think people were just prepped. But like, this is not the only really dark, messed up thing to happen in the in the thing as well. You know,
Can I just touch on that point there? Sorry, see the people take it away. I've seen TikToks and Instagram reels of like people going back to replay the game, and then like, so this person's seeking revenge on what happened to her in the previous storyline. So they've gone back to replay the game, and they've not just killed the guy, they've butchered him. It's like, well,
set him on fire.
Take that.
And...
They've tortured him just because
you
of
and your dad. Yeah. But it is just interesting because like there's a lot of monologuing, and that scene in the game is shrouded in mystery. We don't really know why or what the deal is. And like even the first time we see. A lot of the stuff in the first episode is original, or like I said, they move flashbacks. So the first time we see that character in the game is right before that happens. So we've actually, if anything, that stuff's in the first episode to give you more of a kind of a chance to reconnect.
Well, on that note, and we're going to move on now, I think, but just on that note, a bit of an old man moan and plea, because I know the execs at Sky watch this show, obviously. And this goes for any kind of series. If I'm going to wait a year and a half between seasons, have the good grace to give us just a 2-minute kind of recap of the last season as a starting point before the bloody TV show. Because we started and I had to stop it and go back to Wikipedia and check out who the characters were and what was happening. And that's the same with Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Just give us a quick couple of minutes of previously on. Do you know what I mean?
I completely forgot what Joel had done.
Yeah.
I went back. I went, oh, okay, now I remember. Okay, now I can watch this.
Couple of comments. Fuzzy saying all the Netflix shows have flaws. I agree, Fuzzy. I think a lot of them were kind of dragged out, to be honest. Wayne, Last of Us.
We just can't be friends anymore.
Unfortunately.
That's,
Sean, Last of Us is fantastic. If they stick close to the game, it will continue to be so. Incredible, you say you do surprises. SM's talking about, I believe SM, these comments came up when we were talking about Walking Dead comparisons. It's the same guy who did the game. He wanted the same story.
No, I think she's saying the game and the show are the same.
Oh, right, I see.
It's very similar, yeah.
Episode 2 helped me lose interest. That's interesting, Terry, because it's an action-packed episode. I know it's based on the game, but not something I will bother watching. Interesting. SM barely focuses on the infected. I think that was the feeling I was getting by episode 3, that Walking Dead did this as well. It stopped focusing on zombies and turned to just the human survivors.
They've added so much, like I said, that whole battle sequence not in the game.
Right.
So apparently they've added like quite a lot of infected stuff in this season, because the story of the game doesn't really look at it. Like it's mostly about people.
Shalom, Mr. Bell. Shalom. Fuzzy, Glenn dies. Sorry, Fuzzy. Sorry to break that teammate. Anton, are you guys talking about Last of Us? Yeah, we are, bud. Fuzzy, this talking code is fun. Absolutely. You're just too old. How dare you? How dare you? Pete, we need recaps on every video you do. Yeah,
you could have gone back and watched our 11 hours of review.
I don't have enough time left to go back through those, James.
Anyway, could easily took 11 hours on The Last of Us, couldn't he? Easily.
We did. He did. Did you? You obviously didn't watch his live show over on James C. Keegan.
Oh, no, I watched the weekly one. I'm talking like you could have 11-hour stint of James talking about the
Oh,
last
easily.
week.
Yeah.
The longest video I ever made was I worked 2 weeks on it. It was 40 minutes long. My analysis of the story of the second game.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Never change.
SFX started in 1995. Like I said, this is where I've got the kind of the idea for this show from. Basically, they have published what they think of 30 of the best sci-fi / fantasy shows from the last 30 years. Excuse me. So all I wanted to do, chaps, is have a chat through them, have a little look at them, get your thoughts if you've seen them. There are a few here I've never heard of. And then people in the comments, please do let me know if you've seen these shows, if you like them, and if there's any missing at the end. So starting off, we've got a little collection here: Babylon 5, Being Human, Battlestar Galactica, Carnival, and Black Mirror. Now, I've seen all of those apart from Carnival. Any of you guys got any of those that jump out that you've watched and enjoyed?
Battlestar Galactica, but I couldn't tell you much about it. I couldn't tell you what the other 4 are.
So Battlestar Galactica, that's the kind of the second iteration of Battlestar. The original was in the 70s or the 80s, I believe. I watched a lot of that and particularly enjoyed it with the Cylons and things like that. Babylon 5, for me, was a show that just absolutely popped, written by J. Michael, I can't say his name. Straczynski. How do you say that, friend?
Straczynski.
I can't even do it. Yeah, GM. Just an amazing series. Did any of you guys watch Babylon?
Nope. Never seen it.
God, man. Just an incredible story. Very much like Deep Space Nine, but over a number of seasons. And it's a more adult version. I guess it's the relationships that develop throughout it. And there's a shadow war, these incredible ships. Just absolutely loved it. Black Mirror. James, you watch Black Mirror, don't you?
I've seen 2 episodes of it.
You're doing well.
I'm not seen any of the rest of them.
You've not seen any of these shows?
None of them. No, not one. Not an episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Black Mirror is pretty cool. That's a technology-based kind of one in the future by Charlie, what do you call him? Can't remember his name. Charlie Brooker, yeah. Some amazing episodes in that. Being Human was a short-lived series on British TV about a vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost that all live in the same house.
That sounds fun.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen that.
I like Aidan Turner as well. So
yeah. Some great episodes in it. Absolutely great episodes. Carnival's not the one that I've never seen. Any of you guys heard of that?
Never.
Just turn me page. Carnival, 24 episodes from 2003 to 2004. Just apparently a really freaky kind of, a bit like, what's the American Horror Story? Type setup of a freak show, I think, kind of thing. Some of the guys in the chat have seen it. Panels and a Half Pint saying Carnival was great. Need to try and find it again. It's got the guy from Twin Peaks in political correctness.
Is it Clancy Brown? No, that's what Fuzzy's saying.
I don't know what you're meant to refer to. The Peter Dinklage kind of styled person who was in Twin Peaks. Do you remember that at all? The guy at the end of the last episode from Fire Walk with Me. He's a fucking blank.
Who are you talking
I think you've asked the wrong people on the stream.
You've not watched that either. Jesus. Black Mirror, Chris is saying, is phenomenal. Dead Man Terry, I watched Being Human for the first season and part of second season. Lost interest. It turned into a soap opera as far as I remember. Yeah, I remember watching the first season, Terry, but I'm not sure I watched on. I had a friend in the Navy and he used to send him tapes of the last season of Babylon 5. I absolutely loved Babylon 5. Carnival is good, about a travelling circus in the West. Clancy Brown, it is Clancy Brown, you're right. You're right. Battlestar Galactica is brilliant, great mix of political intrigue and action. And Anton is saying, I'm going to be very controversial. I didn't like the new Battlestar Galactica story. Interesting. I mean, it was quite different to the original, I guess. But I thought it was pretty cool. We've got Sunday Comics. Nice to see you, Sunday Comics. Hope you're well. So, you guys haven't really watched any of those, have you?
I watched Battlestar. I loved it. when they came out. So Say We All, James Olmos.
Yeah.
Some of the humans were Cylons. They were just, they didn't know they were, I just really liked them. And the last episode, it's quite a story, but they made it to our planet Earth, but then it was in the past. They were like so many advanced on Earth, they came for like people still living in huts and just, not technologically advanced. And I thought it was a great series. I really loved it.
I love the original as well. There's something impressive about the Cylons with that
original.
Yeah, love
they
that.
show some of the old Cylons every now and then. That's how they first started. They incorporated that into the storyline too. I thought it was great. I used to couldn't wait for every weekend.
Sean saying the Outer Limits from the 90s is similar to Black Mirror. It wasn't bad. Yeah, I used to love that as well. Black Mirror's hit and miss, but when it hits like Pete in his pants with a bargain bucket.
And that does hit, trust me.
It is. I agree, mate. Some of the episodes are amazing. I've not watched any of the new season yet. I've got that to catch up. Yes, Terry, it is an anthology series. Every episode of Black Mirror is slightly different. Dodgy CGI aside from Battlestar is freaking awesome. It is. It's a great series. Recommend just checking that one out. Then we've got these two. Buffy. Phil, I know you're a Buffy man. Tell me a little bit about Buffy.
Buffy was a fantastic series. 1997, I believe it started. The movie was out in 93.
What did you think of the movie? Have the rest of you seen the movie?
I've seen the movie, yeah.
It doesn't age well. Like it wouldn't pass now, but at the time, I can remember the movie was fantastic. That was whenever the Lost Boys was a thing. What was that other movie with George Clooney and the vampires and he just killed them all?
Dusk Till Dawn.
Aye, that was that was that kind of era for vampire stuff. It was like the early 90s for me anyway. And then this obviously came in 97. But I always think with shows, and it's the same with Star Trek Next Generation, I think when you get the cast and they're perfect, you can't imagine them being played by anybody else. And Buffy is one of those shows. Like every member of the cast is fantastic. I love that show. It's fantastic. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I went back and watched the first season a few years ago now, and it was hard to watch, I have to say. But after that, it just gets better and better and better. Yeah. Are you excited for the new series?
No, because it's not. I'm not being negative from the get go, but how often do they reboot or remake or redo anything, TV show or movies, and it never turns out? So there's no form to be excited about this coming out, but it could surprise me.
I hope so. I'm hoping it's good. Rest of you guys, either of you Buffy fans?
Oh yeah. When it first came out, I loved it. I didn't. When it first came out, I wasn't even aware of it. Then I started seeing it. I went, "Well, that's a great series." My favorite character though was Faith. I mean, she was like opposite of Buffy. She was a vampire because Buffy had died, and then there has to be a Slayer, and she just
spoilers. Spoilers.
Sorry, it's been gone for about 20 years now, guys. So. But I really enjoyed this show. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed. When it comes back, I think she's going to pass the baton to another vampire slayer and go from there. As long as it's good, I'll hopefully, like I said, I'll be watching it. I'll be watching it for sure, though.
Yeah, I'll be.
She came back, though. She came back, so don't worry.
She got better.
Yeah.
James, you're not really a big Buffy man, are you?
No, so when I watched the first season like a few years ago, I think during COVID, I was planning on binging the whole thing because I'd seen an episode or two when I was a kid, and then I just didn't like it. I really didn't vibe with it, so I didn't continue on. But I've seen a handful of episodes after that, and I thought they were really entertaining and really interesting. So like I understand why people like it.
I do think the first seasons are hard watched now. I'm surprised you don't gel with it because it is quite Scooby-Doo. It is kind of the gang.
They call themselves the Scooby Gang, don't they?
They do, yeah, they do. I'm going to show you this. I haven't done a video on this yet, but I'm going to show you it. I've been after something for a long, long time and finally managed to pick it up. This is a Sarah Michelle Gellar signed copy of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, issue #1, signed by Sarah.
I would crack it 9.8.
Yeah.
See, let's be honest. Buffy was a great show, but certainly 1997, I was 11. So from ages 11 to 18, Sarah Michelle Gellar, she was like the number one. I'm sure a lot of people my age were in the same boat. So yeah,
she did things to my young heart, Phil. I have to say.
Not just my heart, but that's another story.
In 97,
I was in my 40s, probably.
That was Pedro Pascal was on one of the episodes too. His first
Yes,
time on
yeah.
TV.
He was.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of his first acting gigs. And I have to say, it's not on this list, but the spin-off series Angel, I think is dare I say it, a superior show at some points. It's a very, very good show. Very good show. Few comments here. Just going to jump to these guys. Never saw Carnival. If memory serves, it got cancelled and I never bothered. Wayne is saying never got into Buffy. Wow, Wayne. I thought Angel was just as good as Buffy. I agree, Sean. I really do agree. Angel had some really interesting episodes. Very cool. I was never a Buffy fan, but I did enjoy some of Ghost of the Robot back in the day. That Spike bloke's real life band. Yeah. He's a nice bloke, James Masters, yeah. Fuzzy, Watchmen deserves more time. Yep. And Buffy died. Season 4 was the best. Remind us, SM, who's the big bad in that one?
That was Adam.
Was it Adam? I particularly like Gloria.
Yeah.
You know, when there was the split.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I liked
was-
the Hellmouth. I think it was season 3 was the Hellmouth. I liked that one when they all fought the big army at the end. I thought it was great.
Is that Buffy slab the giveaway? Is it shite? Denise Richards, Phil.
Well, I mean,
Peter
more than
doesn't
one
like her.
fantasy, can't we?
Because she's got a weird walk.
I didn't say, well, no. I
You
did,
said you don't like her. She's a terrible
I can
actress,
ad-
and she
I can
walks
admire
funny. And that's
her
why you don't like her.
I can admire her attributes, but she's got a wonky mouth and she walks weird. There's no getting away from that.
Right.
In Starship Troopers, she does like this weird kind of walk thing. She does
As
it in
opposed to
James
you,
Bond as
who
well.
has the grace of an angel, and you
I do.
walk
Absolutely
around.
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. How can you say young heart, Peter? You're only 3 months younger than her. Is that right? Oh, well, so there's.
I'm
around
stunned.
her.
I'm stunned that she's older than you.
Why?
Just, I don't know. Just one of those things you wouldn't think of. Like,
I hate Buffy.
you
Many
look
years.
so much older than her. Like,
Is that what
it's
it
quite
is?
shocking.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
2 weeks. I've enjoyed the respite, I have to say. I hate Buffy. Many years ago, I had a housemate who was obsessed and I had the DVDs playing every goddamn day. I've seen more. I mean, just that sentence. I've seen more Buffy than I'd like to admit, but know nothing about it. It's very cool. Very cool. And we've got Super Sorrow.
Sorrow,
Nice to see you,
you're
bud.
after my heart here. I just
Fantasy
said before
TV
the
news.
show, this was the one I
10th
want.
Kingdom isn't, mate. It's not on the list. We'll have to talk about it.
I'm putting it on the list, Pete. 10th Kingdom. That's my jam.
Just a random cock off from Fuzzy. I'm not sure what that was in relation to, Fuzzy.
Your Denise
Clarify.
Richards ridiculousness.
Oh, was it?
Because she walks funny. Yeah.
Give Denise a break. She was married. Yeah, that is true. That's probably why. No, don't say that. I walked around all funky after seeing Denise Richards in Starship Troopers. I'm more into Buffett than Buffy. Yeah, I like a Buffett.
I'll tell you
And-
one. I'm sorry, Peter.
No, just carry on.
I was going to say, I think that one of the most great, well, it was just such a heartwarming scene, but sad at the same time, is when sorry, spoiler everybody, but when Buffy's mom died,
Oh yeah.
and she says, mommy, I went, oh my God, that was just so sad. You know, I was like,
A lot of
wow.
people say that's the best episode of the show.
Yeah. I was like, damn, man. So that to me, it was a really great show. I really enjoyed it.
Episode's called The Body, and it's absolutely amazing. If you have watched my recent, I'm sure everybody on screen will have watched my recent flashback about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's one of the episodes I talk about as being my favourite episode ever. It's just a phenomenal episode. It's heartbreaking.
There was
Absolutely.
the singing episode, and I'm thinking about it. The
Once
one where they
more
couldn't
feeling.
talk. You
Once
know,
more
so
feeling,
very.
yeah.
I really enjoyed that series.
I like the one with the little kind of what do you call it, the puppet?
Yes, I was thinking the puppet one.
And he had like get his heart or something to get him back to life or something. That was a great episode.
That was
Yeah.
a pretty good
Was
show.
that Angel or Buffy? There's an episode in Angel
it was
where
Buffy.
they're all puppets. They get turned into Muppets, don't
That's
they?
true. Yeah.
Oh, no, I remember.
Yeah.
There's so many. There's so many
that
Buffy
one.
episodes you can list. Were fantastic.
Yeah, I think this puppet was like a Slayer too, or some type of. I forgot the character exactly, but yeah, they're also good episodes. You know. Reminiscing.
Chris, absolutely with you here. Me and James did a review of this. I can't remember if it's on my channel. I think it's my channel, isn't it? Starship Troopers review. We both hated on the way she treats
Yeah,
Rico because
it's
she's
terrible.
just a violent.
Dina all the way.
Starship Troopers is all about Diana. We've got
You got the tatas.
love Troopers. I've seen a lot of Buffy and was well into Angel, but I've not seen it since the since except the start of Buffy season 1, which was painful. Might skip to season 2 and give it a proper shot. I think I'll probably watch the last season before the new show comes out, Von Hoot, just to refresh my memory on it. Pardon me. The puppets definitely happened in Angel. Really funny episode. It's a class episode. Anyway, let's move on to Watchmen. So this was a 1-season wonder. Just not that long ago now, a couple of years back. Set in the Alan Moore Watchmen universe. I loved this. Absolutely loved this. Did any of you guys see this?
I watched the first 3 episodes and I really liked it. And it's one of those, I just dropped off. I don't know why. I think I missed it the following week and I said I'll binge it, and then I never got back to it.
Yeah, it has a couple of characters from the Watchmen series, who Ozymandias is in it and things like that, but a lot of them are separate characters who don't really appear in the comics. Well worth catching out. I think it's only 8 or 9 episodes. Sorrel singing along with Buffy that got the mustard out. Love that episode. But yeah, if you've not seen Watchmen, it's well worth watching because it is just a stand-alone little series. It doesn't need to continue on.
Was it cancelled or was it intended to be one season?
I'm not sure. I don't know if it was. I'm not sure whether it was cancelled or not, to be honest, Phil. But the season ends. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So it does conclude from memory. Jeremy Irons is in it. He plays Ozymandias. And he's amazing in it. Absolutely amazing. But
I always remember too with DC they had the absolute the Swamp Thing show and it was cancelled before it even ended.
And they chopped 3 episodes away and stuff. And,
but at the end, because they spent all the money, it wasn't because it was poorly received or people didn't like it. Because they spent all their money in one
such
season.
A good show.
I've still not seen that. I need to go back and watch it.
Fantastic, Peter.
You would love it, Pete.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Fuzzy saying cancelled and it came out in 2019. Wow, I didn't realize it was that long ago. But yeah, great series. Lots of people in the chat saying it's good. Watchmen top tier. Sorry, Phil, I'm blocking your lovely face there. Watchmen's top tier. It's sad that it's sort of forgotten now. Yeah, I agree. Comic deal. Watchmen was great. The first episode is intense. Yeah, it's a real cracker. Watchmen wasn't given a real chance. Just 1 season wasn't enough. I agree, Terry. I think it could have gone on and been a real popular series because it did kind of just disappear into the ether. Really, it was pretty good, but half the time I really didn't understand what was going on. Yeah, it's not the kind of... We've talked before, guys, about the shows that you watch on the settee when you're on your phone or something like that. Watchmen's not that kind of a show. You need to be sitting, invested in it and really kind of watching into it. It was written as 1 season, definitely wasn't cancelled. Wasn't picked up for more than 1. Same thing, I guess. Yeah, it definitely ended after 1 season, sadly. Okay, few more things to talk about. A couple of these I've never heard of, so we'll just skip over them if you guys haven't heard of them either. Ultraviolet, about vampire hunters. This was a English TV series.
Was that Idris Elba?
Yeah, Idris in there.
Idris Elba. Wow.
I don't think I've ever seen an episode of that. Apparently it was very, very popular. Let me know in the chat if any of you guys have seen Ultraviolet. I know I've seen a movie, but it's not based on this, I don't think. An Ultraviolet movie.
That's not Chris Evans, Captain America, is it? On the left? Kind of looks like him.
No. Yeah, no, he's a British actor.
Okay.
He was in... was he in Love Actually as well, I think, or something? Can't remember. But yeah, not a one that I've seen. Vampires, meant to be really cool. Kind of government agency hunting down vampires. So sounds pretty good. Torchwood, spin-off from Doctor Who. A more adult version of Doctor Who, I guess you would say. I really liked that. I enjoyed that series. Any of you guys, any catch up on any of that?
Yeah, but it doesn't better Doctor Who for me. I got try to get into it, but it's not the same thing. I don't like the actor. I forget his name. I just don't like him. There's something about him I don't like. Barrowman.
Yeah, John Barrowman. He got his willy out, didn't he? A lot apparently. So yeah, he's gone through a bit of a controversy.
Tell the police fitted.
He did. No, he's gone through a bit of controversy because I think it's come out that on set he kept whipping his tadger out, and apparently people didn't like that for some reason. So yeah, I quite liked Torchwood because it was a more adult version of Doctor Who, I guess. But yeah, not bad. Now, controversial people are going to hate us. Twin Peaks. I just never got into Twin Peaks at all. It didn't out for us. But it's kind of hailed as one of the best shows ever and all the rest of it.
It's something I've never seen it myself, but I keep meaning to go to watch it. But I get mixed up with that movie. Is it Cape Fear of Robert De Niro for some reason? I keep getting that mixed up for some reason. I don't know why. But no, it's something that made me go back and what. Did they remake this or reboot Twin Peaks or have another
There's
series?
been
or
Twin Peaks, and there's been some TV movies. There was Fire Walk with Me movie or something like that. And then I think there was a Twin Peaks Returns or something a couple of years back. I tried to watch it, and this is one of those shows that for me just doesn't work with my brain. It's either too intelligent for us or it's too abstract, and I cannot put it together and understand what the hell's going on. I watched the last episode, which was meant to kind of reveal everything, and it had backwards walking people and voice distortion. I just didn't know what the shit was going on. Didn't out for us. Efren, you've seen Twin Peaks. Is that a one that you've...
No, never saw it. I know it was like the first season. It was a big hit here in the United States, but I just never got into it. No.
Yeah, it's not one for me either.
Yeah.
The winner on this slide, though, for me, has got to be undoubtedly the X-Files. Absolutely love the X-Files. James, have you ever watched any X-Files?
I've not seen an episode
Me neither.
of any of these shows at all.
X-Files is a must. Please go back and just watch the X-Files.
How can
It's
you not have
fantastic.
seen any X-Files?
I think I saw bits and pieces of it when I was younger, but I was very, very young when it came out, Peter, and that's a spooky opening. The do do do.
Oh, I love that theme tune.
It's too much for me. I was like, ooh.
I mean, they have everything. They obviously have the kind of supernatural phenomena. They've got like people that live in toilets. I don't remember that episode. They've got they cover all bases of like sci-fi, horror, and alien whatever. Oh, it's fantastic.
Efren, you must have watched X-Files.
Never saw it. Never saw it. I knew it was a hit, but I just for some reason it just went past me. I just didn't see it, and it seems to be right up my alley. These types of shows, but I don't know. I just never got into it. So.
People like the movie. If the movie they released for it back in the 90s,
Yeah.
kind of coincide with the series. Did you like it?
Do you know what? I cannot remember much about it. They did 2 films, I think, didn't they?
I remember the first one.
For me, X-Files was always at its best when it was a standalone episode kind of thing. I like an anthology series. So when it was Monster of the Week, FBI agents go and explore and investigate it, Mulder believes it, Scully says, don't be silly, and that's the end. That was great for me. When they got into like multi-episode long arcs about Scully's baby to an alien to the smoking man, it lost us a little bit. Do you know what I mean? Apparently there's more coming. Apparently both of them have signed on to do another season.
Oh wow!
So that's pretty exciting.
Is it going to be a continuation?
Yeah.
Is it Jordan Peele?
No,
It was someone big like that. Was that Ryan Coogler?
I'm not sure.
Someone, yeah.
When X-Files was good, it was phenomenal. I think it's fair to say. Ozzy is saying Torchwood was great. Never heard of Ultraviolet. I'm intrigued. It's only 1 season, I think, of On Hoot, so it's worth checking out. Chris, I just can't buy him, man. Yeah, I don't think I think he's a acquired taste. Loved Torchwood from Wayne there. Torchwood was great. Pretty dark from memory. Yeah. I'm sure they kind of ended Torchwood with a 4 or 5 episode long mini series, Children of Earth or something, and that was pretty gritty. It was quite good. X-Files was superb. Then they remade it years later and should have left it alone. Twin Peaks, not got into. Yeah, me neither. Twin Peaks was mental. I loved it. We got Sorrel saying Twin Peaks confused the hell out of me. Say I'm the same, Sorrel. If I've got to think too much, I can't be doing it. Torchwood was well written, but Barrymore is too much of a show off when it round it. Yeah, he's an interesting character. Never seen Ultraviolet and X-Files is classic. Twin Peaks I can never get into, and Torchwood is really bad. I never liked it. It was sort of a discount Doctor Who. Okay. Ultraviolet had Bill from True Blood. True Blood's not in this little series either. James, we're going to have to do a series on One Good Scare of best horror TV shows.
Yeah.
True Blood is phenomenal. You guys remember True Blood?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Very, very cool. Very cool. Denise Richards. Shouldn't have read it, should I? Shouldn't have read that. I mean, he's not wrong. True Blood was brilliant. Excuse me. Twin Peaks is excellent. The perfect balance of David Lynch and comedy. Far more palatable than his movies. So, but God's got loads of comments. Thank you, guys. X-Files is one of the greatest sci-fi shows of all time. The new series wasn't great. I agree, Sean. The new series I wanted to love. And there was a couple of interesting episodes, but by the moon part, it just didn't didn't do it for us. Mark, Twin Peaks was amazing, completely ununderstandable. Yeah, I agree. Just speaking of Mark, go check out his YouTube channel, Suddenly Comics. He's done some great interviews with the legendary Alan Class. So please check those out. Some great interviews. Twin Peaks, great theme music, enough said. I can't even remember what the theme was. Can't remember it. I went back and watched Twin Peaks a few years ago. Loved it. Had a woman stuck on a drawer handle. Had a woman stuck in a drawer handle. Just bonkers. Yeah. Say Fuzzy, I'm not sure I can cope with stuff like that. It's just too weird for us. X-Files was superb. Finished the X-Files about a month ago. It doesn't stand up. There's a few great episodes, but it's mainly cack. That's the danger with a lot of these shows, isn't it? You go back and look at them and think, oh, they don't quite measure up. X-Files is great, but the films are mince. I would agree with that. Gillian Anderson. Mm-hmm. X-Files was a little before me. It's a show I keep meaning to go back to watch. Sorrel, knowing your taste in movies, I think you would probably really enjoy some of the X-Files episodes because some of them are really good, really fun. I think you would like that. The films are cack, agreed. They did a more recent movie. I'm not sure. I've seen 2 movies.
I think it was like 2008, 2009. I Want to Believe, I think it was called. I think that's the most recent thing they've done.
They had Billy Connolly as a naughty priest. Sacrilege. Okay. The films are not great, especially the one with Billy Connolly. I don't even remember Billy Connolly being in it, guys.
I can vaguely remember. He kind of the guy from Independence Day, the long grey hair. I vaguely remember that part of it. But
right. I can't remember Billy Connolly. The Monster of the Week episodes are great, are good to excellent, but there aren't enough of them. Yeah, I would agree with that. James is saying X-Files for the win. Blew my mind when I found out Torchwood was an anagram of...
I just found this out. I wrote it down.
Fuzzy,
I
Fuzzy,
saw it,
just...
it blew my mind too.
Yeah, it's like that's...
Yeah, I didn't know that, Fuzzy. Didn't know that at all. Incredible. Fuzzy, again, Fuzzy with the facts, mate. Fuzzy with the facts. Chris, I hated the way True Blood ended, but it was an excellent... Yeah. Although it was nice, from memory, didn't Suki get a happy ending kind of thing? From memory. Steady. But yeah. Not sure why, but I think Peaks made me think of a show called Wayward Pines. I think I watched a few episodes of that.
It was great. It was the guy from There's Something About Mary. I can't remember his name. Terrible names. The guy from
Matt Dillon?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes, yeah. X-Files walked so Supernatural could run. Yeah. Gonna get to Supernatural in a bit. Yes. 2008 is recent, isn't it? Yeah.
Almost 20 years ago, actually. So it's kind of crazy to think.
Oh, God, Chris. Barham. Okay, moving on, guys. Moving on. Walking Dead. So Walking Dead is one of the biggest shows ever, and I think Walking Dead now gets a lot of stick. It's easy to look back on and moan about the latter seasons a little bit, but there's no denying this was a phenomenal show back in the day. I think it was absolutely incredible. And going back to what we were talking about at the start, James, this show really did have you guessing every episode because anybody could die. It didn't matter who they were. Any character could be ripped to shreds. And some of them were absolutely heartbreaking. What do you guys think? Any fans of Walking Dead?
Big fan. I'm the same as most people, to be fair. It just went on too long. And even though we've had the kind of separate spin-offs, they didn't end in the way you would want, but not in like a good way, not like a shocking kind of like, oh, it's so out there kind of way. It's just like just petered away slightly. The fact that they weren't afraid to kill people was great. 'Cause I always remember the episode. Remember Carl's daughter?
Yeah.
Sophia. And she came out of the barn, and that kind of like 2 minutes of silence, everyone was just shocked for that. That's why I like The Walking Dead. You had those kind of moments, and made you kind of like root for her to be saved, and then she wasn't. But then it just lost its way a little bit.
So I agree with you. I kept the faith a good way through, but then lost the faith a little bit when we got to the Whisperers and things like that. Yeah. But the last season was incredible. The last season was really good. There's an episode where I don't know if you'll remember, but they end up in this house and there's things living in the walls of the house.
Oh yeah.
To get at them. That's like proper horror. That was superb. But that episode you just mentioned there with Carol's daughter coming out of the barn, that really impacted on me. When we're talking about deaths that really have an emotional hit, that was incredible. Efren,
You didn't expect a kid to die. You never expected that to happen. Never.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. Efren, you Walking Dead man, because you're not a big horror fan.
I really enjoyed this series. I didn't read the comic book. I read the comic book afterwards, so I didn't know what was coming up. And I mean, I really enjoyed it. I got into the characters. You didn't know who was going to die. I agree it was a little bit too many seasons towards the end. One of the scenes, I forgot the actor's name, but the father on the right-hand side, when they killed him,
Herschel?
when they chopped his head off, spoiler, sorry, but I was like, whoa, they just, I mean, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, I never read the book until afterwards, the comic books until afterwards. So I really enjoyed it. This is one show that really got me nervous every week that I watched it. My heart would be pounding, because I just nerves of this show. But I really enjoyed it.
In its defense, I think it's one of those shows that suffered with COVID. It was meant to have a trilogy of movies, I understand, wasn't it? To kind of finish it all off. And then obviously COVID hit and messed all up production everywhere. And then they settled for the kind of random spin-off shows they've got now.
Yeah, I know the Rick one was supposed to be a movie,
Yeah, I think there was going to be 3 movies, I think. But the thing is, like, I just want Rick and Daryl to reunite. So there's still a season of whatever Daryl's show's called. I forget what it's called.
Just Daryl Dixon, I think it's called.
That's still to come. So I'm hoping.
Yeah, he's still over there with Carol. Yeah. So that's a good point. I would like to see them reunited. That'd be cool. Way to end
it. James, anything to say on Walking Dead before I jump to the chat? We've got lots of comments.
Yeah, great show. I think like peak television in the earlier seasons. It's funny that like I was so hyped for Negan to come into it, and I thought like his introduction was like one of the best things I'd ever seen, and then I just fell off immediately. I didn't even. Yeah, pretty much like 4 or 5 episodes later, and I kind of stopped watching around then. Like, so it's weird, and it wasn't because I thought there was anything wrong with how they were handling Negan or anything. I just kind of fell off at that point, so it's just weird timing.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan's that his name, isn't it? That's the actor's name. Like, he's perfect for that kind of role. But like, I'm the same as you. Like, Negan had this big, massive build-up, and it never quite materialized.
I don't think, and I know the show's about zombies, I get that. I don't think you can get better than the Governor. I absolutely loved the Governor. I thought he was superb. Menacing and just bonkers mad, and the Whisperers never really did it for us, sadly. I don't know why, it just never really gelled. Chris tried so hard to love Walking Dead, mid-season 2 just lost interest. I think that's fair, Chris. I think a lot of people tried with it but just couldn't get into it. I used to have a Walking Dead Deadpool in work for who would die. Because nobody was safe in the show. I think that's what I liked about it. You just couldn't guess.
They killed people in really good ways. Like, do you remember the guy who ran away in one of the tower buildings and he closed the conveyor door over, and they got him that way? Like, and even testing the waters by killing Glenn at the start, but then he disappeared for a few episodes, but then came back because he was hiding under the bin. They found really clever ways, I think, to kill people. I really enjoyed it.
I remember when the guy from Everybody Hates Chris died. I was stunned. He was literally like pulled apart, like the hands going into his stomach and everything. It was like, whoa.
And I think fair to say that for a TV show, the special effects were first class.
Yeah, 100%.
Those zombie effects were amazing, and like you say, the death scenes were always incredibly gruesome. Loved them. Tried 2 or 3 times, never got past series 6. How many series? Was it 8 or something, or 9?
No, it was 10 or something, 10, 11.
Loads. They always killed the wrong characters. Yeah, I mean, I have to say, Carol got right on my nerves. I liked her when she was badass, and then she went mopey and stuff like that, and I would have quite happily seen her bumped off. Still haven't finished watching Walking Dead, despite the most of the season on DVD. Watched season 5, 10. Right, 10. Wow. They ruined it with Carl going, because that was the point for Laurie saying he was going to beat the world, and the comic ended with Carl and Judith. It did. You're right. It did. It was a bit of a shocker when he died. I think that was a bit of an interesting twist. Walking Dead's really good show, but the later seasons aren't that great. The terror all what a great miniseries. Yeah, sorry, we're going to talk about The Terror in a second. I've not seen that, but interestingly, you're saying it's a great series. Panels, lost interest after season 7, just seemed to be a death by numbers and made me numb to the characters portrayed in the show. Reading the deluxe comics up to 111 so far, but losing its gloss now. Not sure it'll get to 193. Brave to end the series, I think. It made stars out of Norman Reedus, but anyone who's seen Boondock Saints already knew. We already knew.
Boondock Saints.
I have no idea what Boondock Saints is. That
That's
some
cool.
music?
It's their brothers and their hitmen. It's pretty cool. Like it's cool.
I'm not sure I've seen that
2
one.
movies.
I haven't watched any Walking Dead. Is it as good as The Last of Us?
No,
It is, Mark.
not.
It's better, actually.
it's absolutely not.
I think it's worth watching the first few seasons, at least see what you think of it. I love Walking Dead, but it was terrible slog sometimes. On the other hand, it's absolutely magical at others. Yeah, it's like any of these long series. I think the kind of the peak and trough, don't they? It's funny how the Commonwealth in an apocalypse, the rich will still try to create a class system. Yeah, that's a yeah, good few episodes. I forgot about the Commonwealth actually. Efren likes people dying, I realise. Walking Dead also introduced us to a new way to call people named Carl. Carl. And actually, just going back, we had the Punisher in it, didn't we? Season 1 and 2, I think.
Shane, yeah. Shane was the Punisher.
Yeah.
John Brathwaite.
John Bernthal, yeah.
Yeah, and his demise was pretty impressive as well.
Yeah.
The amount of people I know who have a replica Lucille Battle, they loved, the board regretted. Yeah, there were the rage. Them and Harley Quinn baseball bats, weren't it?
Yeah.
Still haven't watched season 2 or 3 of Fear of Walking Dead, despite liking a lot of season 1. Zombie attack, find a new place, make a new place livable. Something stupid happens, zombie attack, and repeat. That's pretty much it. Sorry.
The thing about the Walking Dead, because it went on so long as well, like you almost found the formula. Like you knew when somebody was going to die, because they would big them up for an episode or two. I remember the girl, the blonde hair girl who had it in the picture there, that she was
Beth.
one of her, Beth.
Yeah.
So they bigged her up for a few episodes, and then they killed her off. And they've done that for quite a few of the kind of mid characters, not so much the main ones, like the mid characters. They've given them a few bits of their glory, and then they've just killed them. And it
Bumped them off.
became obvious what was
I
happening.
never watched what was the spin-off series?
Fear the Walking Dead.
Fear the
There
Walking
was
Dead.
an anthology one as well.
Is that the one with Morgan? From
Oregon
He's
joined
in
Fear.
Fear.
He joined Fear like in season 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, I never watched any of that one.
That's pretty good.
The Terror. Any of you guys seen this?
I've got the book to read. I want to read the book before I watch it, but it's quite a big, thick book, so I'd never get to it. So,
So I hadn't heard of this. I read the little blurb in the SFX magazine. It sounds right up my street. James, you'll be all over this. This is about a boat that gets stuck in the ice in the Arctic, and there's some kind of creature preying on them and killing them and stuff. It's supposed to be really, really good. Yeah. There's been a few comments in the chat here of people saying it's really, really worth watching. So yeah, that's a one I'm definitely going to check out. Apparently the acting in it is absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, I'll check that one out. Bit of Star Wars, Star Trek, which we'll mention. We've got Stargate SG-1, a series I never particularly got into. Deep Space Nine there. I think probably my least favourite of the Star Treks, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Good Old Mandalorian, Farscape, and of course Lost. Lost for me started strong and then just bored the living tits off us by the end of it. What about the rest of you? We'll start with you, James. Any of these jump out at you?
I've never seen Stargate. I've never seen Deep Space Nine. I've never seen Farscape. What's the bottom left?
Lost.
I've seen a couple episodes here and there. It's fine, I think. Mandalorian, I think like the first 2 seasons are incredible, and the last season is one of the worst seasons of any TV show ever. So yeah, bit of a mixed bag there. I think like I've never seen such a dip in quality of a show like ever.
It just nosedived, didn't it? Just absolutely nosedived.
Horrendously, yeah, crazy. Yeah. So
yeah. Efren, how about yourself?
Number 1 for me was Lost. I mean, I just really enjoyed that show. The first, towards the end, I agree. I was like, oh my God, just end it. I don't think they knew how to end it. That's what happened. But the first, 1-2 seasons, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I was like, what is going on here? But I think what made it for me a little bit more better was at San Diego Comic-Con, they used to have panels there. And the cast would come out, and one of the panels, this one woman went up to talk, ask a question, and she was trying to get the creators to admit that this was really happening. It's a big scene, like, you know, like, this is really happening. Why don't you admit it? And they had to, like, security came and pulled her away, you know. So I thought that was pretty fun to watch. But yeah, I really enjoyed Lost. I really enjoyed Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I just really enjoyed the characters. You know, it wasn't that much. There were battles in it, you know, but it was more human related. You know, delving out with the characters, getting to know them better. And Worf was in it for a while.
Yeah.
And of course, I watched The Mandalorian. You know, I thought it was great. You know, I wish they would get a clue and do shows and movies like that, Star Wars wise. You know, I never watched Stargate 9 or Farscape.
Yeah, I think Stargate. I saw the movie, and I watched a few episodes of the TV show, but it just didn't float for me. How about you, Phil?
I like Stargate. I think the movie was very good. But my kind of love for Stargate's more. It's one of those ones that my dad always watched. It was always on, like kind of like early evening, like 6 p.m. or something on Sky One or whatever. I think so. It wasn't like too dark for daytime TV, so to speak. I really enjoyed Stargate. Deep Space Nine I couldn't get into. I think it was roughly the same time. It was Voyager, wasn't it? They both kind of.
I think roughly the same time. A couple of years between. Yeah.
Yeah, but Voyager was far superior than Deep Space Nine, in my opinion. I prefer Captain Janeway, and don't know what Farscape is. Didn't enjoy Lost at all. Couldn't get on with it. And The Mandalorian, I loved it, but I haven't seen the last season. And that James mentions one of the worst things ever in TV. I don't think I want to.
Yeah, I mean, I think unusual for me to defend it. I wouldn't say it's the worst thing ever. It's okay, but it's a massive drop in quality.
Oh, it's all Peter. It's awful.
But you see, I don't know how you can say that with a straight face when you'll defend Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett was miles worse than the last season of Mandalorian.
No, I disagree. I think Book of Boba Fett as standalone as a season is better than Mandalorian season 3.
Is Andor better than both of them?
Andor is the best Star Wars thing there is.
I haven't watched
Andor's basically Star Wars trying to be Star Trek, and it's much better than everything.
See, you say that, but other than the movies, any Star Trek thing I've seen is crap. So I don't know, like, where's that coming from?
Yeah. James hasn't seen us for a fortnight, so he's trying to prod at us and poke us, but I'm not biting, James. I'm not biting. Few comments here before we move on. Lost got lost. It did for me. It started strong, but then petered out. DS9 was great after season 4. The Dominion War wane, I think. When we got the Defiant and things, it picked up then, I think. Ironically, Lost always felt lost itself. Totally agree with Peter's comments, naturally. Seem to remember enjoying the Stargate film. Yep, me too, Fuzzy. Stargate, loved the film and only watched season 1. Great minds that suddenly. Episode 1 of Lost was great, then hated the rest. It's I think what we've talked about before, guys, is one of those series that probably should have ended, but because it was making big money, they just kept pushing and pushing and pushing.
Do you know what I get about Lost? Because even now there are people today will still make YouTube videos explaining Lost, and that's a problem.
Hydro collectibles, yeah.
I wasn't even thinking about that, but I've watched a video recently and he's trying to explain the end. I'm thinking that was like 10 years ago it ended. Stop talking.
I can't remember what it was. A big budget film. I can't remember what film it was, but it even reached kind of pop culture in terms of in this film. Someone said, "I think they were going to die. It was the end of the world or something," and they said, "Christ, I'm going to die, and I'm never going to understand what the hell was going on in Lost," because just the general consensus in the population was nobody knew. By the end of it, what the hell was happening or what was going on, you know? It was just so confusing. Fire Escape is probably one of the best sci-fi series of the 90s. Not heard of that. Oh, Farscape, sorry. Farscape. Really good. Never liked Stargate, SG-1. I liked Star Trek Deep Space Nine, though. Lots of cool aliens. Farscape had a lot of puppetry, I think. I think it was Wes Anderson. I remember watching a few episodes, but not a lot. Stargate 1 was great. Falls off when Richard Dean Anderson left. But was great before that. DS9 got better each season rather than the other way around. Yeah, I would agree with that, Terry. Lost season 1 was tremendous. Then I kept it going and realised I had no idea where it was actually going. Anton saying Lost was a really cool series. Stargate and Deep Space Nine can cock off. It's pinching Fuzzy's comments there. Pinching Fuzzy's comments. And Sorrel saying Voyager. I loved Voyager. 7 of 9. Yeah. Fuzzy fact. Worf has been in more episodes of Star Trek than any other character. Is that true? Very cool. Didn't know that. Andor's good if you like people talking. Very true. Very, but talking well, mate. Talking well. That was Gizmo dying in the background there. Yeah, very cool. Mando season 3.
Iron Man was coming down. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, can you imagine? I would have cried at the end of the stream. Mando season 3 is cack, but it has its moments. Andor's boring. It needed saying. How dare you, Chris? How dare you? DVH, didn't the original writers jump off after the second season? If that lost, I think you're probably right. Stargate Atlantis. Yeah, I'd enjoyed that. Is that the one with oh man, the guy from Trainspotting? Bigsby. What's he called? Who's
Joe, interestingly, I think Atlantis, which came a few years after Stargate, is worse graphics than Stargate SG-1, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're right. Andor's an anagram of and. Oh. Thanks for that, Fuzzy. Thanks. I think I'd write a strike somewhere in the middle of Lost, and it really shows. Andor's an anagram of Rand. Is that where Luke got to? He started watching Lost again. Yep, that's it. That's it. Robert Carlyle. So Robert Carlyle's in Atlantis. I like him. Very good actor.
I love how we have 3 alternative spellings. Robert Carlyle.
It's probably just trolling because he was like the third one. No, he was the second one. Was it?
Chris is saying one of those spellings has to be right. Yeah. Robert Carlyle in a great movie. Can't remember the title of it. About the American West, and they're in a fort, and he's living in the caves around about. And I think it's Guy Pearce. He pulls him in. He's a cannibal. Starts eating all the different soldiers. Really, really good one. Anyway, moving on. We're getting
one more thing. Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Go watch the episode when they go back in time to the Tribbles. That was a really good episode. If you watch any of, I know some people don't like it, but watch that episode. It was really well done.
Very cool. Just a couple more to mention. Fringe. Massive fan of Fringe. You guys watch Fringe?
Yeah, it was good. I
really
agree.
enjoyed
Never
it.
seen it.
Never seen it? Oh, it was really good.
Never seen it.
I really enjoyed it.
Ravenous. Thank you, Sorrel. See, Sorrel? Me. I knew someone would know it. Ravenous, that's the movie I'm thinking of. Fringe was phenomenal. Had Leonard Nimoy in it in season 2 as well.
Oh, he
Again,
did?
a bit like X-Files in terms of it was like a creature of the week kind of thing that split over into alternate universes and things. Just loved that series. Absolutely loved it. Dead Man saying Fringe was great. The food place was fun for ages and crap. The Good Place. I've never seen The Good Place, but I know my daughter watched that and loved it.
Absolutely incredible show. Like, really amazing. Sci-fi, I'm not sure I call it a sci-fi thing. It's a fantasy, I suppose.
Yeah.
But just really funny, some amazing twists. Really emotional, I think, at the end, especially like the last episode. I was just a bundle of tears. Like,
I remember.
Really, really incredible. Do you watch it, Efren? Did you?
I watched it, but I don't remember the last episode.
No.
You can tell me afterwards what happened.
Yeah. But it's a great twists and turns. I think it's a fantastic show.
I know my daughter absolutely loved it, but and I love Ted Danson. Ted Danson.
He's the stellar in it, I think.
Yeah. What's it? Thingy of Mars? That last
Life
one?
on Mars.
Life on Mars. Again, not a show I ever watched, but I've heard good things about a time travel cop show.
But he's brilliant. I can't remember his name, the woman in the brown jacket. He's a fantastic actor. Brilliant.
He was in a series on Sky a while ago where they were on holiday over in France or Spain or somewhere like that, and there's a murder. I think there's 4 or 5 seasons of it. He's very, very good. I like him a lot. And then obviously in the middle there, we've got good old Game of Thrones. James, you're a Game of Thrones fan. What are your thoughts on Game of Thrones?
Yeah, one of the best TV shows ever. I think probably the best fantasy show. Fumbled the ending, in my opinion, but I think it's an incredible piece of storytelling for the most part. Like, I think the first 4 seasons in particular, like some of the best scenes ever, like some of the best casting ever, some of the best storylines ever. Like, just phenomenal. But the dialogue itself is just so good, so quotable.
So I came to the party late on Game of Thrones, and me and my wife, I think it might have been during COVID, watched the entire series, like, just back to back. And I think probably because of that, I didn't mind the last season at all. The last season worked perfectly well for me. But I get why people might not like it. Do you know what I mean? I get that there were some shifts in characters and things like that. But overall, for me, the series was amazing. It's one of the only shows I've ever watched where a death has really affected us and stayed with us, because I can still hear and see the death scene in it.
What one?
It's good old Pedro when he gets his eyes popped out of his head. The scream and the noise, it's just horrific.
I think that like the problem where it goes wrong at the end is like there's always consequences to things. Like every little minor detail throughout the whole show. Like the Red Wedding happens because of this happened and that happened and that happened, and that's why everything always makes sense. Whereas at the end they're just like, this character now rules this kingdom, and it's like, okay, well, do the people who live there, are they not going to care about that? Like, you know, everything was tried to be fit in nicely, and it just didn't. I just didn't feel like it's always usually more thoughtful than that, you know.
Game of Thrones for me is one of those series where, like, it was a Monday evening it was on, and me and my wife had no kids at this point. We came home from work, we closed the curtains, we had our dinner ready, we put on Game of Thrones. That was fantastic. I loved that every single week. Then you have to wait like 6 months in between seasons or whatever it was. It was painful. Maybe even longer. It was like a year towards the end. It was like a year between seasons, wasn't it?
Yeah.
See, the last season, I think, relies too heavily on certain moments that the story is a bit jumbled. Like, don't get me wrong, spoilers. Ara, what's her name? The girl?
Arya,
that's the one who kills the Night King. Brilliant episode, brilliant scene. You see her appearing from the shadows, fantastic. But then after that, I was just like, it didn't make any sense. It made Jon look really weak, despite building him up for 8 seasons prior to it, whatever it was. I don't know. I just think like it dropped the ball, but I don't know if this is true. They were moving to the Star Wars franchise. I think they needed to wrap up Game of
just
Thrones
had
quite
other
quickly.
things they wanted to do, so
They couldn't do Star Wars without finishing this up, and they wanted to get it over with. And I think that's why I kind of hate them, the pair of them. I don't like them. I
they should have just
think
left. Let someone else take over. Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. HBO wanted 4 more seasons.
4 more seasons.
4 more seasons we would have got. Yeah.
Overall, but an incredible series. Efren, you a fan of Game of Thrones?
Oh, I loved it. You know, I didn't like you. I didn't watch it at the very beginning. You know, I started watching it afterwards. I loved it, but I think what hurt it obviously is like more than year gaps between seasons. You know, that hurts it. You know, and it went away from the book, because the book was. I don't think the book has been finished yet by the writer. You know, they went away from that script, but he had not finished the whole series, so they went their own path, and it just at the end, you know, the last season, I think they just wanted to wrap it up.
Can I give you my claim to fame as well with Game of Thrones?
Mm-hmm.
So it was filmed in Belfast, and the gym I went to was a pure gym in Belfast, and I actually had to hold the weight for Jason Momoa. This is before I knew who he was, because he wasn't. I don't think season 1 or yet or whatever, but I had to help him lift his weights. And then I seen Peter Dinklage all the time. I seen the girl Anna Hidley.
Right.
Yep.
Seen them walking around town like there was nothing. It was
Oh
fantastic.
wow, that's cool.
It's pretty cool.
Fuzzy, I'm not lying. That's 100% true. I spotted Jason Momoa.
Very
I helped
cool.
Aquaman become Aquaman, put it that way.
Yeah. He probably, I would imagine, Phil, modelled himself on yourself with the beard and stuff. You know what I mean?
I think so.
Probably what it was. Very cool. A few comments before we move on to the next slide. Anton, Fringe is really good show, and of course Game of Thrones, absolutely. Paperbacks and graphic novels of Fringe are great. I'll check them out, Terry. John Noble in Fringe was incredible. Yeah, stunning performance. Life on Mars was all right. My dad loved it. Game of Thrones is GOAT level. The North remembers, absolutely. The Good Place was so good. I'm going to have to check out The Good Place.
That's so good.
Are the pictures in order of least to best? No, they're just random. Tits. I think that's Fuzzy talking about us. I'm not quite sure. They're all dead. Life on Mars is a must-watch. Brilliant. It's only 1 season, I think, from memory. So, yeah, I might have to go back and watch that one as well. The wife loved The Good Place. Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes were both good. Remember Ashes to Ashes. Absolute doggy do and completely sullied the whole thing. Take Game of Thrones, I think. Wayne, Game of Thrones, blood, guts, and tits. See what you did there, Chris.
Yeah.
Phil Glenster?
Phil Glenister, that's the guy. That's the guy from Nathan Mars. He's fantastic.
Ah, right. Okay. Game of Thrones main incest.
You're really testing the YouTube.
Yeah.
Scanners.
We're going to get struck down here, aren't we? Yeah. The final season is poo, but everything else is top tier. The Red Wedding, great invite. That was, I loved that episode. Ed Sheeran, that was odd. That was very strange, wasn't it? Imagine reading the books, Peter, and not getting an end. Yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of the book series, I don't think that's ever coming, is it? He's never going to finish that, but why would he? He's rich beyond his wildest dreams now. Do you know he's got a toy shop?
He has the end, he just hasn't okayed it, but it's
Do you know he's
there,
got a toy shop, a collectible shop, his own little kind of museum thing going on. Saw a documentary on him a while ago, and he's got this fantastic little kind of collection of figures and toys in a shop thing.
Does he have anything to do with House of Dragons? Did he write books for that, or just?
Yep, Fire and Blood. It's
Okay.
it's more of a like history of the Targaryens kind of book. Yeah.
Lots of comments about you and your wife, Phil. I'm a Rastafarian Targaryen, yeah. Spartacus, there's a good series.
Love Spartacus so much.
a good
One of my favorites.
There's a lot of tits in that too.
There's
lots of tits
a
in that,
lot
lots of
of
tits,
tits in that. Yes.
Night Flyers by Jojo Martin. I don't think I've seen that one, Sean. You guys seen Night Flyers?
No.
I'm not seen that. Jim, he's lying. Harsh. There were better bits, though, Sorrel. I loved Spartacus, but I'm pro Willies on telly. No idea. Nigel, nice to see you. Hope you guys think. What do you guys think of Daz the Key Chaser? Nigel always jumps in and asks what to think of other YouTubers. Daz is a nice guy. I don't watch a lot of his videos, but he's a canny guy. No idea what Carl Drogo would ask Fiction for a spot. Did I get the name right there? I quickly went through it. Did I get it right?
You got it right, but James didn't replace the F with a PH. That's the smart thing.
Good. Had to hold weights for more. You had me till then.
No, that's a treat.
No picture? No? You didn't take a picture? No selfie or nothing? For
Oh, this is like the days of the Samsung push-up phones. Like, you know what I mean? That wasn't a big thing back then.
Yeah, people aren't seeming to believe you, Phil. I don't know why.
Don't know why.
Okay, next on the list, we've got good old Doctor Who, a staple of British television for a number of years. Some great episodes, but like with a lot of series, I think it struggles with, sadly, some very poor episodes as well. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. I do watch it now still, but I watch it kind of whilst I'm doing other things. It doesn't really maintain my attention a lot. That said, I do still enjoy it. Favourite Doctor, I'm going to ask you, for those of you that have seen it, for me, straight away, easy answer is David Tennant.
Yeah.
James?
I've seen very little of Doctor Who, to be honest, but I'm most familiar with it.
Do you watch television? You've seen very little of anything.
Yeah, I just watch good stuff.
Oh, I see. Right.
I tried. I tried to get into it. I gave it the good college try, Pete, when David Tennant came back, and I thought it was mid. But David Tennant is great in that role. I think he's really phenomenal. And like when I think Doctor Who, when someone says Doctor Who, it's him I'm thinking of. So.
Yeah, I mean, I do like a bit of Tennant. Efren, have you seen any Doctor Who?
Next. Never.
I don't think it's really translated over to the States very well. Phil, how about you?
David Tennant for me, easy. But I used to have an old manager. He was from America. He was from Texas, and he couldn't get on board with Doctor Who. He just thought it looked shit, it looked cheap. It didn't fit the kind of the grandiose kind of show that it should be, because it is cheap and cheerful. It's the BBC's kind of own thing, But I liked whenever he came back, is it Eccleston? Is that his name?
Yeah.
I liked him too. I thought he was really good. Matt Smith was really good. Peter Capaldi. I thought they were all good, but David Tennant's a standout. Easy.
Yeah, I still watch it, but yeah. Futurama, classic. I like a bit of Futurama. The other two, Over the Garden Wall, Odyssey 5, never even heard of. Any of you guys heard of those?
Nope.
No.
Nah, move on. Few comments. Doctor Who is an anagram of Torchwood. Who would have guessed? Who would have guessed? Pap slide, move on. Move on. We're going to end on a high, guys. Doctor Who was rubbish when Capaldi came in. I didn't mind Capaldi, but I think the episodes just got weaker and weaker. It's great at the minute, way better than most of Jodie's series. I haven't watched any of the new series yet, Von Hoot, with us being away. I'm looking forward to getting into them. Matt Smith for Sorrel. Yeah, I do like a bit of Matt Smith as well, mind. Massive Doctor Who fan. I continue to be a massive Doctor Who fan to the day I die as a Time Lord. Good stuff. Everybody likes different things, mate. I do enjoy it. It fluctuates heavily for me, I have to say. Fuzzy, I've seen one episode and I had Kylie Minogue in. Proper mince. How dare you diss the Minogue? Was she on the Titanic, Fuzzy? I've got a feeling she died on the Titanic in Doctor Who. Over the Garden Wall is really good animated miniseries. It is very sad, though. Not a one that I've even heard or seen anyone mention. Tom Baker and Tennant are my favourites. What is Odyssey 5? Yeah, Odyssey 5 is a one that I think lasted one series, Fuzzy. And I just think it didn't land at all. I've never even heard of it. Peter Davison, and Tom Baker are my favourites. John Pertwee, for the classic, lost interest halfway through the Capaldi run. And Sorrel, Capaldi, Jodie, I fell off during those seasons. Couldn't get on with those doctors. I feel for Jodie because I think she just got shocking writing.
Yeah, I'm the same. I liked her in that role. I thought it was really good, and like she looked the part. She's done it really well, but the stories she was given were utter cack, and it's a shame because I think I liked her in the role.
Yeah. Only Doctor Who I could stomach was David Tennant, but it ain't for me. Yeah, she hit the iceberg. Yeah, that's good old Minogue. Charlene off Neighbours is a treasure, Fuzzy. No idea what he's talking about. In World War Z, Peter Capaldi played a Who doctor. Is that right?
The World Health Organization, whenever Brad Pitt comes to Wales, that was Peter Capaldi.
Doctor Who. Yeah. Wow. Sylvester McCoy, couldn't care less, but everyone is saying him. It is fascinating. You're right. It is fascinating. Okay, guys. Last. Oh, you see, Sorrel. I knew someone was going to do that. I knew someone was going to do it.
What's
I can't say that name. I can't say his name. James.
Ncuti Gatwa.
Yeah.
The latest Doctor has been a great Doctor. Just wish he wasn't getting as much stick as he is. He's gone after this. Oh, is he actually going? Is he? I have to say, I really like him as the Doctor. I really liked, what's she called? Who's the companion he had for his first series? It's not. Can't remember her name. Christmas or something. Can't remember. I really liked her in it, but then she disappeared. I don't think she's been in the later series. Yeah. Fuzzy likes McCoy Christmas.
The best companion's the girl, the ginger hair, the comedian girl. What's her name?
Catherine Tate.
She's the best companion for all that.
Ruby Sunday. Yeah, I wasn't here with Christmas. I really like Ruby. I thought she's been really good in it. Okay, last slide, guys. We've got some crackers on here. Pushing Up Daisies, never seen. So unless anyone wants to talk about it, I'm not going to talk about it. Phil brandishing his gym ready body there. We've got Stranger Things, Supernatural, and Star Wars, Clone Wars. Efren, I'm going to ask you to talk about Clone Wars in a second. James, Supernatural. Phil, are you a Stranger Things fan, I take it?
Oh, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Stranger Things.
It's probably one of the best things that Netflix have ever made. James doesn't agree with me, but I just think it's fantastic.
No, I don't completely agree. I've only binged it recently.
Kind of straight there, but
I just zoned out for a second. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's one of those ones. It's a shame that it's went on for so long. Because all the characters are aging, and like we all love the Goonies and like the kind of like young pre-teen teens that kind of save the world essentially, and it had all that, and obviously they're all getting older now. It is a little strange, but it's a fantastic series, and it's what I like. I like sci-fi, I like space travel. But I'm not a big horror fan, but I like sci-fi horror. If you know what I mean. And that's what this is. It's fantastic.
I absolutely love it. I thought the last season was one of the best seasons of TV I've ever seen. Just quickly, Efren, James, you fans of Stranger Things?
Oh, I love it.
Love it. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Good stuff. Can't wait to see the last season. I think it's going to be incredible. Efren, Star Wars Clone Wars. Not something I've ever watched, but I know you are a fan.
Before I talk about it, Pushing Daisies was an interesting show. I did watch it. He had the ability to, I think he worked in a morgue, but he had the ability to touch a dead person. They would come alive. But then he would touch them a second time, and then they would be dead again. And his love interest, he basically touched her, and she became alive, and they became enamored with each other, but they could never do anything, because he would touch her again, she would be dead. So it was an interesting show. I don't remember how it ended. I think it was just 2 seasons long.
Interesting. Never heard of that one.
So Star Wars Clone Wars, I didn't watch it when it first came out, but I kept on seeing all, when I used to go to Comic Cons, they used to have all these big posters of these characters, especially Ahsoka. I'm like, who is this character? I finally watched it and I loved it. It is such a good series. If I could go back, well, I can, but I just haven't. I'll watch the whole series again. And also Star Wars Rebels was very well done too. Those are my favorite animated shows, and they brought in the Bad Batch from this series. They made that into a series. I just really enjoyed it. The connection between Obi-Wan and Luke. Anakin, excuse me. And they introduced Ahsoka and so many other characters. They really brought them out more to me. It made me more interested in Star Wars. If you can be more interested in Star Wars,
I'm gonna have to.
I think you should watch it, Peter.
I know I've said loads of times and I'll go back and watch it, but it's having the time, isn't it? But it is something that I want to try and catch up on. Phil, are you a fan of it? Have you watched any of it?
No, never watched it. Yeah. I'm not a massive fan of Star Wars, Pete. I think it's overrated, as I said before.
There's this one episode, I believe it is this one. You've seen it, right, James?
Yeah, I've seen the whole thing.
There's this one episode where Anakin found out about his future, who he was going to become, but then they erased it from his memory. Before he became Darth Vader, I went, whoa. They actually went there. Yeah. And then he was like mortified that he was going to become Darth Vader, but then they took it out of his memory. So he didn't remember it at all.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a cool show.
I'll catch up on it. I will catch up. James, Supernatural. Not a show I've ever seen.
Just before we do Supernatural, Star Wars, Clone Wars, incredible. So much better than it has any right to be, or looks like it would be. I think it takes an era of Star Wars that people were really down on at the time and fleshed it out and made it like a worthy addition to the Star Wars lore. I think that's an amazing achievement. So it's a phenomenal show. Supernatural, I think at its peak is like the best monster of the week thing that there is. Like I think the characters are great. Just Sam and Dean, two demon hunting brothers on the road. That's when it's at its best. Like, later seasons do go into more overarching. And that's where I felt it fall down. I also think it goes on too long because it's like 15 seasons or something like that. I stopped around season 9, I think. But I think some of the best episodes of the show, like I've seen episodes sprinkled here and there, like there's a Scooby-Doo crossover episode that's like later in the season. There's one where they go to the real world and they meet like Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki, stuff like that. Like bonkers. I know you said about like Buffy having a Muppet episode. There's a lot of like wild idea kind of episodes like that. It's like it's just some of my favorite, at its best, it was like just the best thing on TV, I think.
And
really.
The father was Jeffrey Dean Morgan too.
Yeah. Season 1 and 2, wasn't it?
Yeah. Good series.
I can't. Do you know sometimes when you talk about series and stuff, and that show sounds right up my street. It sounds like exactly the kind of show I would watch. Very Buffy like all that kind of stuff. So I've got no idea why I've just never seen an episode of it. Do you know what I mean? It's strange that I've just never, unless it's one of these ones. I'm quite often, if I find something 2-3 seasons into it, I'll just think, I can't be chewed with trying to catch up. Do you know what I mean? But I'm surprised I've never gone into Supernatural because you would think it's the kind of thing I would love.
You could, because I think at a point when it got to season 5, it was going to end, and then it got renewed. So 5 is like an end point where you could stop there and say, I think that's the end of the story. And then if you want to, you can go and watch like the kind of standard episodes from later. Pretend that they're earlier if you wanted to.
Is it finished now, or is it still going?
It's finished now. There was a prequel about their parents called the Winchesters, and that only lasted a season. And then I think there's murmurs of it coming back, maybe. Okay. A reboot or something like.
There's a running joke, but there was a third Winchester brother who got stuck in hell, and they never brought him back.
Forgot about him. Like
forgot about him. Yeah.
Okay, very, very cool. Just going to quickly jump to the chat, guys. We've got lots of comments. Sorry, Wayne. I hate Stranger Crap. Wayne's on fire tonight. Yeah, Stranger Things is kind of average. Oof.
Wow, are we watching the same show?
Stranger Things is magnificent. Absolutely love it. Supernatural just started watching it. You'll have to let me know what you think of it, Wayne. Will season 5 of Stranger Things be too long in the wait? Nah.
No.
I don't think so, Terry. I think it's going to...
They dated it, didn't they?
Yeah, but
The series
It's coming out this year.
yeah,
I think they finished
August
it.
and September, I think.
Film's wrapped up, yeah.
Season 2 is the weakest of them all, but the last episode of season 4 wasn't something else. Yeah, I would agree with that. The funny thing was that I filmed some of it around here. I didn't know anyone at the time, but I was told that Millie Bobby Brown. Wait, look. I'm sure, Chris. I believe you, Chris. I believe you. I do believe you. Yeah. Westworld needs a shout out. The rest was poo, but the first season is jaw dropping. I remember watching it and loving it actually. Loved Clone Wars. I'm not gonna live that down, Chris. Sorry, Clone Wars, Rebels are both amazing. Rebels got me back into Star Wars and collecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Still never seen an episode, but every time I see that young actress Millie, she's so wooden.
She's meant to be in the show, if you know what I mean. That's the role, really.
I know what Fuzzy's saying, but because I've seen her in a few other movies and things, and I have to say she doesn't blow us away. What was she in recently? There's an Amazon or a Netflix thing.
The Sherlock Holmes spin-off, or
No,
sister?
No, the one with
No.
Chris.
Yeah.
Was it the,
About robots.
yeah,
Electric State, I want to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's not good in that. Like, they filmed the Clone Wars in my kitchen. I had to watch them. This is the quality chat I get. I love it. So we really wanted a corpse, but didn't. Probably for the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got 19 people watching. Thank you very much, everybody. Please do hit like and subscribe on everybody's channels. Clone Wars is immense. Speaking of Clone Wars, let one know in the chat where you're next going to be at a con doing sketch cards. 'Cause I think you've got one coming up from Instagram, haven't you? So stick it in the chat, mate. Clone Wars is superb. I watched them all in timeline order during COVID. The last season was so emotional and gives Revenge of the Sith a whole new feeling for me now. Wow. I have to check that out. Supernatural is based on EastEnders. I heard that. I did hear that. Last episodes are just absolutely sublime of Clone Wars. Fuzzy, skip Rebels and Clone Wars. I got no interest now either.
Missing out.
Say again? No, missing out.
Yeah.
It's a lot to go back to, isn't it? But it's,
Yeah.
Love Supernatural as well, even though there are 15 seasons. Crikey. And like Walking Dead, it kept me interested throughout. Jensen Ackles is hilarious in some of the episodes. I've heard he's overrated. Just bringing you up, Mr. Keegan. The Clone Wars animated movie, if I remember correctly, wasn't overly well received. But to make such a great series out of it, it's superb. To date, some of the best Darth Maul episodes.
Yeah.
People look at Clone Wars Rebels as just cartoon, but it's such an emotional depth, and the character arcs are amazing, especially Rebels. Ezra talking to Yoda, using the Force was awesome. Lots of people saying Clone Wars is worth a checking out. Really good. Yeah, Supernatural is really good. Sort of a different version of the X-Files if they weren't members of the FBI. SM, they have 2 episodes where they speak Irish. I love it. Is that on Supernatural?
Supernatural, I think. Yeah.
wow.
I can't remember that.
Supernatural sounds good to me, but I've never tried to watch it. Might give it a try. Same as me, MJ. Same as me, mate. I fell off Supernatural after season 3, but I'll get back to it one day.
I'm the same where I'm like, but I also feel like I need to start it again at this stage. It's been so long. But like at the time it was on and I was watching it like week to week. It was my favorite thing on TV. Like it was incredible.
It's
I
one
tried
of these.
it. I quit.
It's just because it's one of these series I've got on my kind of retirement plan list. I've got so many bloody stuff I'm going to watch.
Next year.
I wish.
Beat me to it there.
What were you about to say, Phil?
No, I tried to watch it and I couldn't really get into it, to be honest, because the guy, is it Jared Padalecki, was his name?
Padalecki.
His best show he's ever done was the Gilmore Girls, so I mean, I just, can't get on the Supernatural at all. But Gilmore Girls rocks. Should watch it.
Okay.
Which shop is that, mate? Is it the Comics and Coffee?
No,
Comics?
it's We Sell Heroes, I think, or is it called
right,
We Sell Heroes? It's further out from Belfast. I might go, just to see you there if I get
Just to
chance.
see the celebrity that is Comic Deal. Charmed, never got into either, but I heard good things about it. Okay, guys, is there anything there we've missed as we start to wrap up? Because we've gone on longer than I expected, so I apologise for that for you guys.
Highlander.
Highlander, the TV series, yeah.
Yeah. Fee.
Is that 30 years? When did V come out?
Oh, it's 30 years. You're right. Good show.
You're absolutely right. V is one of the best sci-fi shows of all time.
Yeah, I thought
Firefly. How did Firefly not get a mention?
Firefly, yeah. There were 2 seasons of Firefly, wasn't there?
Yeah, and a movie. 2 movies, I think. Was there 2 movies?
Yeah, yeah. Heroes in the chat from Chris Bell. Heroes is very cool. Yeah.
Millennium. Did you ever see Millennium?
Was that when everybody thought the world was going to end with the Millennium Bug and all that kind of stuff?
No, it was like, so he was like an FBI profiler, but it was all kind of like linked into like demons and stuff as well a little bit, and it was mid-90s to be fair, so it might just be outside the 30-year mark. But
was it the guy who played RoboCop?
No, but he was in one of the movies. I always forget his name. I'm terrible at remembering names. I'll look it up while you distract the audience.
There's loads of comments here, some great ones mentioned. James, you got some you want to mention there?
Yeah, Sorrow mentioned to the 10th Kingdom. Just incredible, like really amazing. It's a 1 season thing, but it's like a bit like my memory of it was very labyrinthy. It was really, really cool. So I like that one. I had one a second ago. Where is it? The Witcher fantasy show. Might enjoy.
Oh yeah, I like The Witcher.
Yeah. Yeah, that's me.
Free comic book day this weekend, I think. Yeah, make sure everybody checks that out.
Oh, Hercules.
Kevin Sorbo, isn't it?
That's Lance Henriksen, by the way, Bishop Chameleon.
Yeah, that's who I was thinking of, MJ. I recognised the face, but I couldn't quite place him. Efren, any we've missed from you?
No, you guys covered a lot of them. I'm sure there's some that I just forgot that I just don't remember. But all the ones that we've talked about, really good shows.
The Strain, remember it?
Oh yeah, that was really cool. Kind of weird vampire things.
Like, yeah.
I got one. I'm sorry. I mentioned at the beginning of the show Sliders. I used to watch it. That was a really good show. I really enjoyed that one.
Some great ones in the chat here, guys. Sorry I'm not reading them all out, but I'm putting up as many as I can. Some excellent ones. Flash Forward. I don't think I remember Flash Forward. The Expanse, I remember. Yeah. Flash Forward cancelled due to a writer's strike. Very cool. Okay, guys, listen, that's been really good fun. Thank you so much. The chat has been absolutely buzzing tonight. I really do appreciate everybody's comments. Just whilst we're starting to wrap up, don't forget hashtag sci-fi in the comments, and we'll pick some comic books for someone in a few minutes. Just before we do that, rounding up, the Orville. That's by the guy who did Family Guy. I remember watching the first few seasons.
I like the Orville. That's fun. Yeah,
very good. Very good.
I hope he'll come back.
Yeah, very cool series. Just to mention, memberships are live on my channel. Thank you to everybody. There's a number of you in the chat who are members. Really do appreciate your support. All of the memberships help me to sort out my giveaway box, and I'm trying to rival Rob Fatstacks now because we've got some good books in there. So we'll see if we can pick some nice books out for winners tonight. Also, if you remember, you get a monthly additional book pull as well. Just wanted to mention this Operational Global Geek Guide is a video on my channel. I'm going to be doing another update on this shortly. What I want people to do is let me know about all of their bricks and mortar comic and toy shops that aren't big franchise shops. So I'm not interested in your Forbidden Planets and all that kind of stuff. I'm wanting to pull together a map that myself and Andy Perpetual Comics are going to create into a website to advertise all of the smaller comic shops. So please do check that video out. Drop us a message on Instagram or on the actual video itself, and we'll try and pull together this map of places for people to visit. James, what's happening over on One Good Scare Show?
Well, you were on holidays, and I had some technical difficulties, so I took a little bit of a holiday too. So we'll be back. You were busy this Friday, so next Friday we'll be back with a live show. I'd like to do some kind of Last of Us spoiler breakdown thing. First 3 episodes or something. We'll have Efren on for that, maybe. That'd be a bit of crack as well. And then I'll be getting the Howling out as soon as possible as well. And then also there's been a few good movies, really good horror movies lately, like Sinners, Until Dawn, Drop and stuff. So we'll be talking about them if you get a chance to see them as well.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get
games that take a break. There's some pretty good games dropped as well. Oblivion and Days Gone remastered. I'm sure you're on them as well.
Yeah,
good stuff. Efren, what have we got happening over on Past Point Comics?
I'm going to try to do another episode of Up on Comics, but I might have to do it this Saturday instead of Sunday. Peter and I are going to be doing, hopefully, our advanced orders. And this Thursday, I'm going to try to do Instagram Live for a couple minutes. I'm going to be at Disneyland. It's Star Wars night. So I'll show you guys. I know it'll be early in the morning there, because it starts at 6 o'clock here. So that's about 3:00 in the morning your guys' time there. So I'm going to join pictures of that. So it's Star Wars night, and it's pretty cool, event to go to.
It's May the 4th, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah, but it's more than just one day. I'm going May 1st, and it's just throughout, like about two weeks worth of that.
Very cool. Very
So I'll be there Thursday.
good stuff. Phil, what's happening over on your channel?
We're at a bit of a pause, purely because the kids were off school for Easter holidays, and trying to do anything with them running around the house without me kicking them is really hard. So yeah, I will aim to get back to a regular schedule, but the regular schedule is what I'm doing now every so often. But I want to get back to reading the single issues every week. I've missed out on that for quite a while now, and I need to get back to reading the pull list and get some content out for you guys, hopefully.
Good stuff. That was the joy really of being on holiday. I managed to pick up and catch up on a whole host of reading. So I read, don't know if you guys have read any of these new DC kind of digest level books. They're just very small, perfect for taking on holiday. But I read American Vampire, issues 1 to 12, I think it was, by Snyder. Really, really good. And Stephen King, I think, does some of it. Yeah, well worth checking out. Over on my channel, next Tuesday night, the live show will be the Toy Show with myself, James, Comic Lad Simon, and Super Sorrel, talking about action figures and all that kind of stuff, so check that out. Live videos at the moment, I've got Pop Culture Playback on Inside number 9, a bit of a review of the Sandman TV series, a Pop Culture Playback on Alf, and a video about the Thunderbolts. And I've got a video about Sentry going out tomorrow, I believe. So lots and lots of content there. Next Wednesday, so not this week, but next week, I'll be doing bringing back This Is My. So we're going to be meeting Terry, Deadman. So Terry's hit a big subscriber target for himself. So he's going to be doing a giveaway on my channel. So we'll give away some free comics on the channel, and we'll also incorporate a This Is My session. So we'll get to know a little bit more about Terry next Wednesday, earlier time of 8 o'clock. So please do check that out and support Terry, because he's doing some brilliant content at the moment. Okie dokie, let's share screens. Let me just remember how to do this, because it's a while since I've done it. Right, can you guys see that there? Okay. Yep. Last seconds, guys, to stick it in. Hashtag sci-fi. Make sure you spell it as it's written on the screen there. SCI space FI. And then we'll do this. So, good luck, everybody. And we're off. Itchy nose, itchy nose. And our winner tonight is Panels in a Half Pint. Sean. Good stuff. Good stuff, Sean. Sean, drop me a line on Instagram with your address. I will have it, but I cannot remember it. And let's pick you some comics. Right, I've got a long box now, guys.
You get the whole long box.
You get the whole long box. Well done. Ship it to you. James, just tell us when to stop and don't dick about. James, tell us when to stop.
Stop. I don't think you stopped when I said stop, so I don't want that one.
You're not. Life's tough, isn't it? Efren?
Find the spot where you stop for James, right, and then go back 3 spots.
Oh, fuck. It's that big. That sounds wrong. I can't get my fingers in. Right. Phil?
Inspired by my good friend Perpetual Comics. 13 from the back.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Tell us when to stop from the back.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Stop.
What are you like? I'll pick one.
That's what.
One more from you, James.
Stop. It looks like it's more hassle than it's worth here.
The box is too bloody big. That's the problem. I've got them that crammed in. Anyway, right. So Sean, you have won. That was a limited edition a little while ago.
I wanted that one. Yeah.
There we go. Limited edition from a little while ago of Spider-Man DJ thing.
Gamerverse, I think.
We've got shiny G.I. Joe. That was again a limited one. Can't remember what that one was off. We've got Defenders #1, signed by Al Ewan. We've got Avengers #1. I think that's the first Ronin, Hawkeye Ronin.
Not the first one, but
Is it not?
No.
And we've got Rook Exodus. That's a good book.
Excellent.
I like that one as well. There we go. We shall send them to you in a bit, Sean. So, like I said, drop us a line with your details, and we shall get them sent to you. I don't know what buttons I'm pressing here. What the shit's going on here? There we are. Okie dokie. Right. Thank you so much, guys, for your time tonight. Appreciate it. Yeah, I've kept you for nearly 2 hours there. So do appreciate that. Sean can't even read. You can look at the colours. It'll be fine. Okay, and thank you so much to everybody in the chat. It's been great having so much contact tonight with you guys. It's nice to be back. With that, we'll call it a night. So thank you very much, everybody, and we'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye.
The curtains close, it's time to go. We really hope you enjoyed the show. Check out my channel for more geeky fun and hit like, subscribe before you run. All that remains is our thanks to you from Triple G and his YouTube crew. We really do hope you come on back, but for now, that's your whack. Yeah, that's your